I dyed my hair. Hey guys, so this week I was going to be uploading the Fairytale-a-thon TBR for next week, but unfortunately I am really not going to have time to actually do it. I really wish I did, but there's so much going on next week. I'm only going to have 2 days to read, and there's no way I'm going to be able to give this my all like I really want to. So I thought instead I would show you all of, or at least most of my fairytale retellings and fairytale books and fae books and mythology books, in case anybody is struggling with what to read for this readathon. First off, I'm going to start with the obvious, which is Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales, because what better time to read the original fairy tales that all the retellings and films and everything is based off of than reading the original fairy tales by Hans Christian Andersen. I also own Grimm's fairy tales. I own 2 copies. I've got a smaller book upstairs which I can't be bothered to get right now, and I've also got the Kindle edition which has a lot more stories on it, and it was actually free, so if you are a Kindle reader it is free to download, so it may be an opportunity to read that. If you're a Doctor Who fan, it may also be an idea to read Time Lord Fairy Tales, which is obviously a whole load of fairy tales based on Doctor Who, and is supposedly the fairy tales of Gallifrey, which will be incredibly interesting to read, and it's a must-have for Whovian. I think I haven't actually read this yet. I'm saving it for when Doctor Who comes back out again at the end of the year, but I think this will be a good one to read if you are a Whovian, or if you're a fan of Six of Crows or the Grishaverse or anything like that. Language of Thorns may be a good one to read. This again is a whole load of fairy tales from the Grishaverse and stuff written by Leigh Bardugo, so it may be an idea to read this one. And onto the retellings, my number 1 is The Beast's Heart, which is anybody shocked that I said that? No, nobody is shocked. But this is obviously a retelling of Beauty and the Beast from the Beast's point of view, though I have heard that this is rather triggering. I don't know exactly what all the triggers are, but I would definitely say to look them up on Goodreads because they are right at the top, if I remember rightly, or at least they're in the comments. So if you're a bit iffy about this one, definitely check out the comments to make sure if it's okay for you to read it. But I think it's going to be quite an interesting one because it is based off of Beauty and the Beast, and it's from the Beast's point of view, and that is rarely told, if ever. This is the only thing I've ever seen where the Beast is front and centre, so this will be quite interesting. Then, if you excuse my battered copy, but William Goldman's The Princess Bride. I mean, if you're going to be talking about fairy tales and like giants and princesses and pirates and things, The Princess Bride, man. I mean, it's The Princess Bride. If anybody hasn't read this, read it. Even if you haven't seen the film or anything like that, read the book. It is amazing. It is a complete classic book to me, and it is perfect for a readathon. I think it's quite short, and it's got all of the things you need in there. The most beautiful girl, well, almost, and the handsomest farm boy in the world, swashbuckling pirates and master swordsmen, lovable giants and monstrous beasts, miraculous escapes and devastating captures, fire swamps and cliffs of insanity, true love and deadly revenge. In short, it's about everything, and it's just the most perfect fairy tale read to me, so I would definitely recommend this one if you are stuck for, like, anything for any of the prompts, or if you just want another one to read if you're in a fairy tale mood, definitely The Princess Bride. You've also got Sisters Red, which is by Jackson Pierce, which is a Red Riding Hood retelling with a lot more werewolves and 2 girls trying to save the day, and I haven't actually read this yet, but it really excites me as a concept. You've also got The Beast is an Animal, and this is where you're going to notice that I have a proper thing for Beauty and the Beast, but The Beast is an Animal, which is by Peter Nell van Arsdale. I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing this right, but the back of it says, the beast is an animal, you better lock the gate, or when it's dark it comes for you and then it will be too late. And I know not much about this one, but again, it's really exciting to me. It's Beauty and the Beast. It's a retelling. I'm really into Beauty and the Beast, so I think this will be a good one as well to read. You've also got To Kill a Kingdom, and if you haven't read this one yet, where have you been? This is amazing. It's a Little Mermaid retelling where definitely the girl saves the day. It's amazing. It's quite violent in places. Lots of snark, slow burn romance. Absolutely amazing. I cannot recommend this one enough. It made me, a romance hater, really enjoy it. So it's got to be for something if even I enjoyed the romance aspect of this. You know, I cannot recommend this enough. It is amazing. Definitely check this one out. The next one we have is Of Beast and Beauty by Stacey J. I haven't actually read this one yet, but again, it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling where Beauty is actually blind, and she is also a princess. So this could be quite a fun one. I haven't actually read it yet. I don't know how accurate the blind representation is at the moment, but I am so looking forward to reading this one eventually. If you're looking for fae, I would definitely recommend the Spiderwick Chronicles, because this has got like brownies and fairies and all of that kind of thing in it, and they're obviously children's books, so they're really, really short, so you can fly through it really, really easily. There's 5 in the series and a spin-off series. It's by Holly Black and Tony Lizzie, I think that's how you pronounce it, but I cannot recommend these enough. They were my favourites as a child. They're really funny, they're really quick, really fast paced, and really, really immersive. So if you're looking for something a bit fae, definitely pick up the Spiderwick Chronicles. If you're looking for something to do with royals, Ash Princess, I picked this up recently, haven't had the chance to actually read it yet, but I've heard so many good things that I just had to put it on the list anyway. Again, along the same lines of royalty, Grace and Fury. Again, haven't read this one yet, but I've heard so many good things. It's on my list to read this month, so hopefully I'll get to it. Again, to do with royalty and things, also Everless. Again, haven't read this one. I am terrible, like, catching up on my fairy tale reading, but this is also about royalty and taking down royalty and stuff, and I've also got pretty sprayed edges on mine, but I've heard really good things about this one. The sequel is also out in January or end of December, so it's a good time to read it now so you're ready for the sequel. Also, if you're looking for more mythology-based stuff, The Monstrous Heart by Francesca Simon is a good one. It is a middle grade novel, but it is all about Hela, who is the goddess of death in the Norse myths. She's also in the original Norse myths and in this book Loki's daughter, alongside Fenris and Sleipnir, if I remember rightly. You know, the giant snake that goes around the world and stuff. They are all Loki's children, and this follows Hela as she is stuck basically in hell as the goddess of death and how she deals with it. And I really, really enjoyed this one. It really gave Hela more depth, and she could have been really whiny, but she was just enough sad without being really annoying about it, and she had a really, really sad life, but I really liked how it ended, and I just really loved finding out more about Hela. Obviously, back on the fairy tale fronts, Cinder and Scarlet and the rest of the series in the Lunar Chronicles is pretty much a safe bet, because the girl saves herself in this one. You've got princesses, royalty, and all the rest of it, so this fills many, 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 many prompts. And this one is also based in New Beijing, so this is very far into the future, so that's really interesting. Also, we have an amputee as a main character in Cinder who goes all the way through the series from what I can tell, so again we have disability representation, which is fantastic. I can't say about if it's got POC characters or anything like that, or how accurate the representation is, again, but I reasonably enjoyed Cinder, but I know it's a really, really popular series that gets better as it goes along, so I'd also put this one on the list if you're looking for things to read. Into royalty again, you've also got 3 Dark Crowns. Again, haven't read this one yet, but I do want to. This one's a bit more bloody and violent from what I can tell, but it's still got royalty in it, so it still fits that prompt if you need something for the royalty prompt. And then finally, if you're looking for anything that's not part of your culture or anything like that and you're struggling with that, I'd recommend The Wrath and the Dawn or The Beast Player. The Beast Player is actually Japanese retellings, if I remember rightly, and this one is a retelling of an Indian folk tale. Don't quote me on that. I know it's definitely Japanese in India. I know that much. I can't tell you much else because I started this one but got caught up in another book and I haven't actually started this one yet. But this one is my best friend's favourite book of all time and I trust her judgment on these things. So these two are really good to maybe consider for the other culture prompt. And that is all of my recommendations that I actually own in physical copy. I have a couple more on Kindle, but they're all Beauty and the Beast, and I think I've exhausted Beauty and the Beast quite a lot, and I talk about Beauty and the Beast a hell of a lot on this channel, and I wanted to sort of branch out a little in this video, so I hope that helped in any way, or gave you inspiration, or sparked off an idea for maybe another book to read for the Fairytale-a-thon. I really, really wish that I could take part in it, but it's really just not going to be possible this year. Maybe next year if I get the chance, and if it runs again, I will definitely be taking part, but this year just isn't going to be a good time for me, unfortunately. But I hope everybody who does take part has a fantastic time in the Fairytale-a-thon, and I hope that this video helped in any way. So I hope this helped, and if it did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below with any of your recommendations, because I'd love more recommendations. Even though I haven't read most of these, I'd still like recommendations. And I'll also leave a link down below to all my social media if you want to check any of that out. And if you want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time, guys, bye!